Hello there. My camera setup here tells me that I am live. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been live on Facebook, on YouTube, on anywhere. But I'm back. I am here, and I hope anyone who joins me will enjoy the quick video here. I am preparing for a very fun holiday season. We've got a lot of things happening in Afton. Hey, Shannon, it has been so long, but I'm back, Shannon. I'm back. Lot of soul searching, a lot of stuff going on, and hopefully we can talk about that over the months to come. But right now, here in Afton, we are getting ready for a really fun December and holiday village celebration beginning the day after Thanksgiving and going right up to Christmas Day and beyond. So a lot of what I want to do here are some crafting kits and projects, and there's so much inspiration out there. I don't know how to best do this. Can you guys see that pretty well? Shannon, let me know if that's coming through clearly. This is a project that Lynne Brundage from L&J Goods did on the holiday creating video that we did the other day. So that happened Thursday. And Lynne, who is from L&J Goods in Medina, New York, designed this project and showed us all how to do it. If you look at my small picture down here, you'll see I've got one started. And what I want to do with this is do a little bit of work on here today. If you saw Lynne do her project, you'll know how this is going to go. Lynne mentioned that she thought this would be a fun family project, and some of the young moms who were there kind of laughed a little bit, because I think grandmas like me and Lynne and others, I think we have the picture of togetherness that sometimes works out and sometimes it's just a fantasy, right? But with proper preparation, I want to say, I think this could be a very fun family project. So this is the one project that I want to do. I'm going to try to put it here. There we go, too. I want to put it together as a kit. So people who have the kitschy Christmas maybe won't need my kit. They can go ahead and follow Lynne's directions and get all the materials themselves. And it's a fabulous project as is. But the kitschy Christmas sold out so quickly that I also want to give some alternatives. How else could we do this beautiful Advent calendar if we don't have all the cool kitschy Christmas transfers? So I'm going to put together some alternatives on that. More will be revealed because I'll figure it out and we'll go from here. This is another kit project that I'm putting together. This original project design is from Debi Beard, Debi of DIY paint fame. So Debi's design diary, DIY clay-based paint. Not only is she an incredible woman and business person, but her creative juices flow, and she comes up with things like this, and it's just amazing. So Debi Beard, DIY paint. She has a quick video showing how she did one. We all take projects and give our own spin to it, right? So this is a child's globe. The base of it is plastic, but I used IOD molds and some painting techniques to make it look like a patina kind of thing. We've got the Santa and the reindeer that are cast. In this case, they're cast in clay. In the kits I put together, maybe for local people, they could be clay, but if they have to be shipped away, they may have to be resin. But just the basic components. So even if you missed out on getting the Santa and reindeer molds this year, you can pick up a kit that will have, again, a lot of these are from Kitschy Christmas, but I'm going to give some alternatives and ways you can make this if you don't have Kitschy Christmas. I have some kits that I'm putting together. Some will include a globe. Oh, here's a globe right here. And this globe has some painter's tape on it because I've already cast some of the pieces. Do you think that's a great idea, Shannon? I think it's a fabulous idea for a whole bunch of reasons. One of the reasons is creating things with my hands and with Iron Orchid Designs or with DIY paint or whatever else. Making stuff with my hands is what I do 20 hours a day. I have to sleep a little bit, but I'm around to cast the sleigh, to use the resin, to make the clay sleigh so that you guys, my customers, my followers, can jump right into the fun part of painting and assembling. I'll do all those ditzy parts for you. So the painter's tape was on here because I molded this to the shape of this globe. So I'm going to offer a kit that comes with a globe, a kit that you provide your own globe, any of those things. So I hope you'll stay tuned in that we can have some fun working on these kits together as a project online. Also, if people are in the local area, we can get together here in the studio in Afton and work on it together. So we have something going on here called the Creatively Curious Kids Club. We do camp, we read books, we do arts and crafts, and something that came about as a result of my kids camp and kids club idea. I got a lot of feedback from parents who say things like, oh, I would love to do stuff like this with my kids, but I don't even know where to begin. Light bulb. The light bulb is, let me help you with that. Let me show you where to begin. I'm going to switch over to this. Again, by putting together these kits that as a parent, you would be figuring out, well, I'm going to do this part and this part ahead of time by myself and enjoy some peace and quiet and maybe a glass of wine or whatever, a nice hot cup of tea, and just get into the chill of crafting, which I am going to do right now while I continue to talk to you. So I'm going to take these drawers out. This is an Advent calendar box that came from Amazon. I will provide a link. As I said earlier, this project was designed originally by Lynne Brundage of L&J Goods, and she provided a supply list that had a link to this. I'll give you a link to Lynne's video and a link to this supply list as Lynne did the project. Those of you who have the Kitschy Christmas transfer already, so here's Kitschy Christmas. If you have that transfer, you're going to be able to you're going to be able to enjoy Lynne's video that shows you the whole process of doing this. And just use the Kitschy Christmas and you'll come out with a project that is as close to Lynne's as you want it to be. So there's a picture of Lynne's again. The Kitschy Christmas individuals are so little and fit beautifully on those drawers. There's some separate boards. The measurements are in the supply list, but if you buy a kit from Liza Jane Designs, I will have all those cut and prepared for you. So let me finish getting these out of here. I got a few people watching. Shannon, are you still with me? No one else has said hello, but if you're watching, and I would love for you to say hi and let me know if you have any questions about anything. Let me know if you're from my area or if you're watching from afar. I'm going to show you what I'm using. So for this beautiful green, I have mixed a color from using DIY paint colors. So Debi's clay-based paints, Old 57 is right here, which is a little bit of a turquoise, right? So not quite the vintage Christmas green until I add a little bit of Fancy Farm Girl to it. So these two mixed together give me this beautiful color. It's like a tourmaline, I think, or it just reminds me of that 1950s kitchen green color, kitschy kitchen green. These are mixed together. You buy a kit, you're going to get this kitschy color. So I'm using the clay-based paint for the little boxes. Lynne said, someone commented on how she was able to eliminate these little holes in hers because you see this, it's a solid block, so there's more room for the design. And then there's ribbon that will be for the pulls. And Lynne commented that people said, oh, how did you fill all those in? And she demonstrated that she just kind of flipped it and pow, it goes in like that. And you don't have that little, sometimes the best solutions are just, they're the simple, beautiful, simple ones. I am also using Debi's DIY paint cottage colors. This color is barn quilt. So I thought it was a nice sort of retro red. And I am painting, Lynne painted green inside and then red around. That was a little too futzy for me, even though I'm the queen of futzy some days. I I'm going to shake this guy up. I often like to set myself up for success by eliminating places I can mess up. And by that, I mean, if I were to paint the inside of this green, I think that could be cool and it could be a fun challenge. I could paint it all green and then do these edges red, but it's kind of helpful to me to do the whole thing in red. Then I don't have to worry about displacement or, you know, just mixing them together and having red where I want green and green where the whole thing's going to be red, it's going to work beautifully. So I am just going to paint all these cubbies red inside and red on the outside. Again, if you get a kit from me, this is the color paint I would choose unless you ask for something different. So I do have small samples of, there's my mix of Old 57 plus Fancy Farm Girl to make that green. So your kit would have like this size, which is a couple of ounces of the red and some clear coat. All the transfers would be included. The first couple of kits will actually include transfers from Kitschy Christmas as time goes by, because I only have a few of those that I stashed away for this purpose. As time goes by, we'll be using a different ways to get fun images on the Advent calendar. So Kitschy Christmas is ground zero. That's where we start with that. And if you're lucky enough to have a Kitschy Christmas, you don't even need my kit. You just go and follow Lynne's directions and you will have your own gorgeous project. If you want to get a kit from me, you'll get all the wood pieces cut and you can start to proceed. I'm going to also give you those little numbers, the numbers 1 through 25, all punched and stamped already. When it gets down to it, on some of the later ones, we may offer some castings of snowflakes, because we have to have alternatives, right? If we run out of Kitschy Christmas transfers, we can't just give up on the project. We'll have to just find another way to make it different, but equally cool, right? Sometimes with more restrictions, we use more imagination and we end up with something even more fun than if we had had all the original ingredients in the first place. So I've been live. I don't know how long I've been live. Shannon, you're the only one talking to me. So thank you for talking to me. You other guys, thank you for being here. I would love to, say hi and know who you are, but it's okay if you're shy today. I'm talking about putting together these kits so that we can make this Advent calendar. This one was designed by Lynne Brundage of L&J Goods. And my first one, I'm going to make pretty much exactly like Lynne did. One exception I know I will make, because Lynne confessed in her video the other day that she used 3 kitschy Christmas transfers to get enough to do this beautiful border. We don't have 3 extra kitschy Christmas transfers around. So I'm going to do decoupage on this and have that be a way to decorate the backboard. I may come up with a different image for here, because each kitschy Christmas transfer only includes 1 of these. So we're going to have different options available, but the kits will be so cool. And my thoughts with family kits are things like what I am doing right now. You wouldn't want a young child doing all this with red paint and getting into all these places. So I imagine that this part would be done by the mom or the grandma or the grandpa or the uncle. You get the idea. It doesn't have to be a woman relative, right? But kids who are a little bit older or who are just more into crafting could perhaps paint the little boxes. I'm going to see if I can get this jar of paint open here. There we go. Here's all we have to paint really is the front. But I enjoy the process. And since I enjoy the process, I kind of stained the sides of mine and even inside too. So very, very watery paint. And I'm almost just staining this so you can still see the wood grain. Uses less paint, hardly any on the brush right now to stain that. So I'm going to do an opaque coat on the front. And I'll probably distress that back a little when it's done. But for the rest of this, lots of water. More of a stain across the top and inside too. Do you have to do this? Nope. But when I get my paint out, I cover all the surfaces, right? So I am staining with very watery DIY paint. Barely a drop is all that is needed to stain the inside and all around this box. So I have that guy done and ready to dry. So I think a 10-year-old could do these. Maybe I would, if it's my grandkids who are 10, I say just paint the front of it. That's totally cool. Paint the front and around the top. And that'll be plenty. They don't have to do the whole mix it with water and stain it. But you're going to know your kids, and you're going to know if they will think that's fun and want to continue on and add color, or are they going to think it's a horrible chore and geez, they have to do all the work around here and, you know, not enjoy it at all. Well, obviously we don't want them to feel like that. So we don't torment them that way. But if they enjoy this, we'll let them do it all. If they do not so much love it, keep it simple. Just a thing of green across the front. If I'm doing this with kids, with a family, I would definitely break the project into different afternoons or evenings and say, all right, tonight we are going to pick out transfers to go on the different Advent boxes. Or tonight we are going to paint the little squares. Because if you break a big project into little pieces, it's way more enjoyable, less stressful. You've got a path to completion without total meltdowns from any young children. So, you know your kids, you know your grandkids, you know what they're going to stand for. Some of them, maybe you get all the way done with the painting and everything is sealed. So the grown-ups do that part ahead of time, and you sit down for an evening with that hot cocoa or brandy and craft with your grandkids, craft with your children, craft with your whole family. When I was a kid, so I grew up in Massachusetts, and my mother for sure was one of those taciturn New Englanders, didn't have a lot to say. She had something to, it's like, what do you talk if you don't have anything to say? Just, she was not just one to make conversation. Until you put some kind of a craft tool in her hand and you sat her down at a table with some other people, and just the act of people using their hands and relaxing into what they're doing instead of thinking they have to come up with great, wonderful, witty conversation. It's like, yeah, we're just hanging out. We're just making stuff. The pressure is off and the words start to flow, and I don't know, I just think it's a better icebreaker even than that glass of wine, because no one ever got a hangover from too much crafting. I don't think. I don't think. So I am rather blathering here now. I see some people have stuck with me. I would love to hear from any of you if you're watching on the replay or if you're online right now. Let me know what you think of my kit idea. If you're here in my local area, it's going to be my plan to have some afternoons or evenings where people can come in and work on their projects together in this space. But everything will be provided too, so that you can do the whole thing at your house. With any product that I sell, comes with 100%. I'll talk to you until you understand what to do, and you can call me night or day. Now, if it's in the middle of the night, you may need to leave a voice message. If it's after 9 p.m., you may need to leave a voice message or text. But you can call or text anytime, and I will get back to you, because I just want to be here for my peeps. I want to answer your questions. I want you to have confidence in your creative abilities. I want to encourage you to do these things alone for your own enjoyment, with your family or friends, to have some fun in community, all the things. Isn't it a pretty green? Debi, DIY Paint Debi, also gave the idea for mixing those colors to get that kind of green. I'm going to recap a minute and then probably end this video for now. I've been live 30 minutes already. So if you just tuned in, what I'm talking about here is creating versions of this. Hello, someone just said hi, and it just says Facebook user. So I don't know who you are, but it says hi, Liz. So I know you know me. Liza Jane Designs is my shop name, right? And here at the Afton Creative Arts Studio. So sometimes people call me Liza, which I understand why they would do that. But I'm just Liz. We are working on a version of Lynne Brundage. Lynne from J. Goods, who I know is often called Ellen. But Lynne from J. Goods designed this project. She has a video that I will link to in the comments that she did with the Orchid Designs people the other day, demonstrating how to do this exact project using the kitschy Christmas transfer and all the supplies that Lynne references. So she tells you how to do it all on your own. I am putting together some kits here from my shop in Minnesota so that people who maybe didn't get their hands on the kitschy Christmas transfer can still make one. I do have a few kitschy Christmas transfers. That's hard to say. I do have a few of these that I set aside just for this purpose that will be part of the kit to make this Advent calendar. So the initial kits I'm putting together are going to include transfers from kitschy Christmas and look very much like Lynne has designed. As we go on, which I hope people will want to make one of these Advent calendars, we may have to get more creative and use different kinds of images and decoupage and transfers from other releases. And this is the other kit that I am putting together. This was a Debi Beard invention. Debi used, again, kitschy Christmas. She is the person who came up with the formula for this beautiful paint color using Old 57 and Fancy Farm Girl. I am using DIY cottage color in Barn Quilt, which is a really nice red. So I'm using that for the outside of that box. This globe, this is a kid's school globe, painted with the green. The continents are all painted in petticoat pink, another beautiful DIY clay-based paint color. We've got kitschy Christmas going on here. I'm going to switch this over to the big. So kitschy Christmas again, but I'll be offering some alternatives for doing this. If you don't have kitschy Christmas, we can still do a Santa delivering presents around the world, hopefully, doing his best, doing our best to spread joy and love across the globe. We could all use some joy and love and peace on earth. No kidding. That would be like delightful. So good tidings. Peace on earth. We have a Merry Christmas here in the, I don't know if you can see the gold from the tinsel transfer, but this is another kit we're going to put together that can be mailed out. But if you're here in the local area, I hope that you'll take advantage of the fact that Afton is going to be celebrating its village holiday beginning the Friday after Thanksgiving. So beginning on, I'm going to go grab something here. Beginning on Black Friday, I'll keep talking, you can hear me. Beginning on Black Friday, the Afton Village holiday is starting. You can see it in my smaller window there. So we have the Candy Cane Trail, which is going to happen November 29th till the 31st. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be having hot drinks outdoors, bonfires at all the different local businesses, wine tasting, s'mores, cider, hot chocolate, craft activities on the weekend of December 6th to the 8th. We will be having a Christmas market, our second annual in the historic schoolhouse Airbnb Christmas market, December 6th, 7th, and 8th. Santa, the real Santa will be here on Saturday, December 7th, sitting in our living room in the Airbnb by the fireplace in that historic 1860 schoolhouse. Santa and Mrs. Claus sit by the fireplace. They receive children hour after hour. And if the children are on the Santa's good list, he makes notes about what they're asking for. It's a pretty good experience. There'll be local artisans and makers inside the house that weekend. And we continue on with craft activities here in the studio. In the evenings, because it gets dark early now, we will have the bonfires. There's horse and buggy rides that weekend. There's traveling carolers. During the month of December, being here in Afton is like being alive in your own Hallmark movie. I always say it's like being in a Hallmark movie, but you don't have to marry your high school sweetheart. You don't have to go back to that. You just enjoy where you are in your life right now. We're doing more activities here in Afton on the 12th to the 14th. And the final weekend before Christmas is going to wrap up with the Comfort and Joy Winter Solstice huge bonfire up at the Nature Conservancy, Bellwyn. Forgot the name for a minute. So we'll be up the road at Bellwyn for a huge, giant winter solstice bonfire. So I'm telling you, if you're in the local area, you need to come to Afton. Pick one of those awesome weekends, one or come for all of them. If you can only come for one, the Celebrate Merry and Bright on the 6th through the 8th maybe would be the one to pick, because you have the in the schoolhouse market, you have the traveling about carolers, you have the horses, and you have cookies and treats and hot drinks and wine and just all the fun. So I hope you'll stay tuned. We'll talk more about these kits. Hold me to it, you guys. And I'm going to get them out there and get them on the website. And I'm excited about a fabulous holiday. Really, really good to spend some time with you today. Shannon, thank you for being here. I'm still alive and kicking out here in Minnesota. And I've got big plans for the holidays and for 2025. Can you believe 2025 is almost here? So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to keep working on my sample Advent calendar box. Be on the lookout, and I will be talking to you again soon. Bye.